All right, students, happy Monday. Welcome to, what is this, week 5 now? Week 5 of virtual learning. We're going to go ahead and get started pretty quickly here. Sort of a tough concept we're learning. We really like to have you in class and use some visual representations to help you out on this one, but I'm going to do my best given what I have around the house. So what we're learning about is surface area, okay? Surface area is, obviously we're dealing with 3D objects now. So specifically in this case, we're going to be working with a rectangular prism. So like a shoebox, cereal box, things like that, those would all be rectangular prisms. In this case, I have a box of construction screws. Mr. Lombardo's been doing some home improvement projects, and so have these laying around. 3D box, as you can hear, there's still some screws in there, but this would be a rectangular prism, perfect example. Okay. Surface area is dealing with this rectangular prism or with our 3D shape, and we take every face of our shape. So this side, this side, this side, this side, this side, this side. Find the area of all of those faces and then add them up. So find the sum of all of them. Okay. We're going to see if that's going to help you out explain a little bit. Here's your Common Core State Standard. We're going to be representing 3D dimensional figures using nets made up of rectangles. And we're also going to be using a formula to help you out with this too. Here's some math practices we'll take care of. And we'll get going. What are we going to learn? Obviously, just like I said, finding the surface areas of rectangular prisms by using nets. I'm going to explain what nets are here in just a second. And a formula that we will give you. Okay. Here is what this looks like. Vocabulary, I told you, surface area. Here's what a net looks like right here. Okay. We're going to start out with a 3D rectangular prism. Looks like this. Okay. And using nets means we just break this apart. Okay, we just break this apart. So if I was to go ahead, and my wife's not going to be happy because I'm going to make a mess right here. But if I was to go ahead and just take this box and break it down, okay, first thing I would probably do, I would probably open it a little bit. And then I would see if I could maybe take out, I don't know, the sides or the bottom here. So now, let's see, now I have this shape. As you can see, we're seeing through it now. And it's not going to look too good on this one because it doesn't really work out well. But I can go ahead and rip it. And as you can see, I have a big, long, weird shape. Obviously, there's some unnecessary flabs on here, but it kind of looks similar to what we have on the screen right here. Okay, I just took this box and I broke it down. I opened up all the sides. Okay, I folded the side down right here. I folded the right side down. I went ahead and took the top along with that and put it on that side. Took the back of the box and folded it down there. Took the front of it and folded it down there. Okay. So using nets means that we're just kind of breaking down the 3D shape and we're not making it 3D anymore. Notice that this is just a 2D shape. Okay. You can also use, and this is what I think a lot of you, whoops, what happened here? This is what a lot of you are going to be using, I would probably imagine, is the formula. Okay. All you have to do is plug in your length, your width, and your height. So the surface area of a 3D rectangular prism is 2 times the length, there's a long one here, times the height. Then we're going to add 2 times the length times the width. And then we're going to add, lastly, 2 times the height times the width. Okay. So as you can see, I kind of have 3 separate multiplication problems here. I have 3 separate ones. Oop, that was a bad line. Sorry about that. Okay, I have 2 times the length times the height, plus 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the height times the width. Little messy, sorry about that. All right, let's try a couple here. Okay, I'm going to walk you through this one, and we'll see what we can do here. Notice that in this case, we are going to break it down using a net. Okay, so they are taking this 3D box and they are just breaking it apart and making it a 2D shape. Okay. The bottom they put here, the top they put here, the side, the front, and the back. Now, this is kind of tough to practice at home and not being in class, because normally in class I bring in 3D boxes and we kind of help, we break it down together. Okay, so I show you where the top is supposed to go, where the bottom is supposed to go, where the front and the back are supposed to go. If you can picture this in your head, some of you have that artistic brain where you can picture it in your head. You know where sides are going to lay out when you break down a box. If this works for you, please use it, okay? If not, stick to the equation. We're not going to do the equation in this problem, but this is how you do nets, okay? All you would do from here is just find the area of every little rectangle that you see here. So in this case, we would just find the area of the back. Okay, then we would find the area of the top, we would find the area of the side, we'd find the area of the bottom, we'd find the area of the front, and then we'd find the area of the other side, and we just add those all up. Okay, they're going to do this for you here, so we're looking at the front and the back in this case. Let's see, we have the back and we have the front. So we're looking at these two rectangles right now. As you can see, this back rectangle has a height of 4 and a base of 7. Okay, so just to find the area, all we have to do is multiply those two. 28. The back and the front are going to be the same shape. Okay, so both of those are going to be 28. So if we add 28 plus 28, we will get 56. We're going to look at the top and the bottom next. Here and here. Notice that those two rectangles have the dimensions of 5 and 7. So if we multiply 5 times 7, we should get 35. And there are two of them, so we just add 35 plus 35, and we get 70. Lastly, we're looking at the sides. Those are the only ones left here. And those two should be the same shape. Their dimensions are 5 and 4. So when I find the area, I just do 5 times 4, and that equals 20. Okay, and if I have two of them, I should have 40 for the sides. Okay, so now to find my surface area, all I have to do is add up these three numbers right here. And when they do that, 56 plus 70 plus 40 is 166 square feet. Notice we're going back to the squared feet because we're talking about area. Okay. All right, let's look at another one, except we are going to go ahead and use the formula in this case. Okay, we're going to use the formula. So going back, just so you can see what the formula was, that's this right here. Okay, 2 times the length times the height, plus 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the height times the width. Okay, so let's go ahead and, sorry, just pulling up my calculator here. All right. Here we go. Here is your formula. We're just going to write it down just so you have it. Surface area is equal to 2 times the length times the height plus 2 times the length times the width plus, lastly, 2 times the height times the width. All right, so again, I have 3 separate multiplication problems I got to take care of. But first, I got to go ahead and plug in what I know. I got to fill in numbers for these letters here, okay? Well, we should probably look at, first of all, what is the length, what's the width, what's the height, etc. Okay, so here's the length here, right in front. How long is the shape? How wide is it? That's this one right here. And how tall is it? Okay, here's the length, 4.1. Here's the width, 3.5. Height is 1.4. Let's go ahead and plug in what we know here. Okay, so this first part, we have 2 times. That's going to stay the same. The length, we just take what the length was and plug it in. So 4.1. We take what the height was, which is 1.4, and we plug it in. Okay, easy enough. Then we're going to go ahead and add, we're going to go to the second one, 2 times. The length again, we have the L, so let's plug in what the L is. So that's 4.1. And let's plug in what the width was. We have a W here, so now we're using 3.5 for the first time. Ooh, I'm going to be close to running out of room. And then we are going to add the last part 2 times. The height, what the H was right here, 1.4. So I'm just going to make it, hopefully. And the width, the W, so we're going to plug in this last one, 3.5. Lots of dots here, but I'll go ahead and do the work for you, okay? Now, all you want to do is just work on your multiplication problems. You have 3 of them. Remember, PEMDAS tells us our order of operations. It says do multiplication first before you add, okay? So, take out your trusty calculator. This is something that you can use now. So, phone, or if you have a calculator laying around the house. Let's work on this first multiplication problem. I have 2, and I multiply it by, oh no, what's going on? All right, here we go. 2 times 4.1. Okay, that's going to be 8.2, and then I need to multiply that by 1.4. I'm going to get for this one, and let's just go ahead and write this down so we don't forget. Surface area for that first one is 11 and 48/100ths. Going to bring down my plus sign. Let's go ahead and multiply. Second one, 2 times 4.1, which is equal to 8.2, and I'm going to multiply that by 3.5. So for that second one, I'm going to get 28.7, just using my calculator to figure this out. Bring down your addition sign. And my last one, 2 times 1.4, that's going to equal 2.8, and I multiply that by 3.5, and I get 9.8. Now I have an addition problem with some decimals, so just go ahead and add that up. Again, you can do that on your calculator. And when you add all of those numbers up, hopefully we get the answer of 49 and 98 centimeters squared. Let's check and see if we got it right. Oh, we did. Perfect, right here. Watch this, ready? Oh, it didn't work. It's supposed to be confetti. Oh, there's the confetti. Perfect, you got it right. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and do another one. I'm going to go ahead and use the equation again. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit longer, but I think this is going to be the way that a lot of people are going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this one. Again, surface area. Here's the equation. 2 times the length times the height plus 2 times the length times the width plus 2 times the height times the width. Okay, so nice and long formula here. Okay, super long, so make sure you are writing this down, keeping it somewhere handy. So when you're going through your practice worksheet, you are going to have that handy, and when you're taking your quiz for Friday. Okay. Let's plug in what we know. We're going to talk about which one is the length, which one's the width, which one is the height. 10 is going to be the length in this case, how wide or how long our shape is. Okay. Width is going to be 8. That's how wide our rectangular prism is, and 5 is the height, how tall it is. All right, let's plug in what we know. For our first part, we're going to go ahead and do 2 times the length. The length is 10, right? And then we multiply this by the height, which is 5. Now, some of you can go ahead, if you'd like to, and just solve this right away. If you want to go ahead and multiply and add later, that works for me. So let's go ahead and try that this time. We'll solve it as we go. So if I do this multiplication problem, 2 times 10, you should get 20. And then 20 times 5, you should get 100. Okay, so that's going to be our first part. Moving on to my second one, I'm going to do 2 times the length. The length again is 10 up here. And then if I plug in the width, it's going to be 8. And again, if we want to go ahead and solve on the move here, we can do some multiplication. 2 times 10, you should get 20. And then 20 times 8, you should get 160. And the last part here, 2 times, we're going to plug in what we got. 2 times the height, which is 5. And then multiply that again by the width, which is 8. And if we want to go ahead and multiply this, 2 times 5, you should get 10. And then 10 times 8, you should get 80. And now I just have a 3-part addition problem, 100 plus 160 plus 80. You should get a final answer, hopefully, of 340 once you add all those up. And we have meters as our unit, and make sure that it is squared because we're talking about area. Did we get it right? Yes, we did. Cool. Here's another one. We'll do one more for you just in case. Some bigger numbers here, okay? Here's going to be our answer. We're just going to check and make sure that it is correct. I'm going to go through this one pretty quickly. Here is your formula. Again, for the third time, 2 times the length times the height plus 2 times the length times the width plus, oh my goodness, that was bad. 2 times the height times the width. Okay. Go ahead and plug in what we know. It tells us in this problem, a box that holds a scooter has to be 28 inches long, 13 inches wide, and 26 inches tall. What's the surface area? Okay, so it tells us length, width, and height. Okay, so just plug in what you know. Our length for the first part, 2 times the length was 28. We're also going to multiply that by the height, which was 26. And again, if you want to solve, go ahead and do so. Pull out our trusty calculator, and we get 2 times 28, which is 56. And if we multiply 56 times 26, we're going to get a big number here. Our answer is 1,456 for that first part. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the second part. 2 times the length, which is 28, times the width, which is 26. Let's go ahead and multiply. We can go ahead and do that second part here, just so we can stay on the move. 2 times 28, which is 56. Uh-oh, what did I do here? Sorry, this is supposed to be 13. This number was supposed to be 13, so let's get rid of that. Sorry about that. I was going to say, hold on, that's the same. 2 times 28 which is 56. And then multiply that by 13, which is 728. That looks a lot better. And then lastly, let's go ahead and do the third part. 2 times the height, which is 26. And then multiply that by the width, which is 13. So when I pull out my calculator, I can do 2 times 26, which is 52, and then multiply that by 13, and I get 700 or 676. Let's go ahead and add all of these up together, and when I do, I will get the answer. Oh, perfect, we got it right. Surface area in this case is 2,860, and then we have inches as our unit. Hopefully you're thinking squared because we're working with area. Okay. All right. Here is something that you can think about. Write about how to find the surface area of a prism using its net. Remember, net was something that we broke apart when we took that box and we broke it down, just like this nail box I was working with. If that works for you, please use it. If not, again, stick to the formula. Make sure you get what you're supposed to be getting taken care of, your practice worksheet, and your quiz. The quiz is what you're getting credit for, so make sure you get that taken care of. If you have questions, contact me throughout the week, and we will be talking. Thank you.